All right, let's talk about your body's circulatory system. Now, if you picture it as this massive highway network, then the pelvis, well, the pelvis is one of the most important, busiest interchanges you can imagine. Today, we're diving deep into this vital crossroads, the arteries of the pelvis. So, when you hear the word pelvis, you probably think of bones, right? The hip bones, that whole structure. But we're going to reframe that today. The pelvis is actually a high traffic, incredibly high stakes hub for blood flow. So, the big question we're answering is what is it that makes this region a true circulatory superstar? Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Like we said, our circulatory system is this incredible highway network. And in that system, the pelvis is one of the most critical interchanges. Seriously. This is really the core idea you need to get. The pelvis isn't just a bony frame, it's the junction box. It's the connection point linking the main arterial highway coming down from your torso to two massive destinations, your powerful legs and all those crucial organs tucked away inside the pelvis itself. Everything from the muscles you use to walk to your bladder totally relies on this intricate plumbing. Now, any great highway system has a major fork in the road, and the circulatory system in the pelvis is no different. To really make sense of this whole network, we have to start with one single primary split. We're calling it the Great Iliac Divide. So, our whole journey starts right here, with the common iliac artery. Just think of this as the main freeway entering the whole pelvic region. It's the big, single vessel that branches off the aorta, carrying all the blood that's headed for your pelvis and your legs. Everything we're about to talk about starts from this one spot. And here it is, that main fork in the road. It's a beautiful, simple split. The common iliac artery divides into two. On one side, you've got the external iliac artery. Think of this as the expressway that just keeps on going straight down, becoming the main blood supply for your entire leg. Then on the other side, you have the internal iliac artery. These are the local roads, a much more complex network that dives deep into the pelvis to feed all the organs and muscles inside. So, expressway to the leg, local roads for the pelvis. It's that simple. Okay, so let's take a turn off the expressway and explore those local roads. The internal iliac artery is definitely where things get a bit more complicated, but don't worry, we can break it down into two simple, manageable parts. What's so amazing about this artery is that it's basically the master key that keeps all of our pelvic organs running. Now, to get a handle on all of its different branches, anatomists came up with a really clever way to group them into two main divisions. It makes understanding this complex map so much easier. And here they are, the posterior division and the anterior division. The names sound technical, but they just tell you the direction they're heading. Posterior means it branches out toward the back of your body, and anterior means it branches out toward the front. And each one serves a completely different neighborhood of muscles and organs. First up, the posterior division. This group of arteries heads toward your back, and its main job is to supply the tough muscles of the pelvic wall and, maybe most importantly, those big, powerful gluteal muscles. You know, your glutes. The superior gluteal artery, for instance, is a huge player here. It's what fuels the muscles that let you walk, run, and climb stairs. And then we have the anterior division. This is an incredibly dense and absolutely vital network. Its branches are responsible for getting blood to all the pelvic organs. We're talking arteries for the bladder, the uterus in females, the rectum. This is basically the life support system for all the internal machinery of the pelvis. Hey, just a quick insider tip for you. This branching pattern is, well, it's notoriously tricky to memorize. So much so that medical students have come up with all kinds of wild and clever mnemonic devices just to remember which branch goes where. It just shows you how intricate and detailed this system really is. Okay, so we've mapped out the highways, the expressways, and all the local roads, but let's bring it all back together. Let's talk about why this elegant, complex plumbing system is so critically important in the real world. This chart just lays it all out so clearly. You can really see the division of labor. Need to power your glutes for a workout? That's the internal iliac's posterior division on the job. Need to supply the bladder or uterus? That's the anterior division. And sending blood all the way down to your toes? That's the big job of the external iliac. It is just a beautifully organized system. And the real-world implications here are huge. For a surgeon operating anywhere in the pelvis, knowing this map isn't just helpful, it's a matter of life and death. During childbirth, controlling bleeding from the uterine arteries is absolutely critical. And for anyone with vascular disease, a blockage in even one of these arteries can have devastating consequences. So this isn't just abstract anatomy, it is fundamental to medicine. So, we've seen how this incredible, intricate network of arteries is responsible for everything from our most powerful movements to the quiet, constant work of our internal organs. It all leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about. Given how interconnected everything is, what happens to the entire system when just one of those tiny local roads gets blocked? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this tour.